The financial crisis of 2007-8 is still deeply ingrained in many people's minds. It caused markets to fall sharply and led to a global recession. But is the financial system any more stable today? Philip Augar, who's written extensively about the crisis, says in many ways it is.
The regulators are up to speed now. They are on the case. Financial institutions themselves are better protected. They hold more cash, they hold more capital. Leverage is much reduced. The financial institutions have had to think through, regulators have made them think through what happens if things go wrong, so resolving failed institutions is much more straightforward. And I think it's fair to say that the people running banks, running financial institutions, they've had their fingers burnt. They're personally accountable under new regulations now for what happens. So the control of the industry is better.
But none of these things, says Philip Augar, should make us complacent. There could be another financial crisis at some stage, though the cause will probably be completely different.
What we have at the moment is a more refined, safer version of the old system that got us into all this trouble in the first place. What we don't have is a completely new system. And so I don't think you can kind of completely give financial markets a big tick and say everything's fine now. It's always right to be vigilant and to be alert. One of the things I learned in the time I worked in markets is that risk is a weird thing. It's constantly changing shape and changing direction, and it never occurs in exactly the same way twice. So you have to be all the time on your guard.
Investors should see these sorts of episodes as learning opportunities. So what are the key takeaways from the global financial crisis?
If I had one takeaway from the financial crisis for investors, funnily enough, it wouldn't be don't panic. It wouldn't be don't stretch yourself too much, although both of those things are true. The main thing I'd take away is to be very careful of groupthink. The very fact that everyone thinks the same thing, for me, is a red flag. That is the moment when you should just think, actually, are things really this good? If it seems too good to be true, then it probably is too good to be true. I think just stand back, be prepared to ask a different question, and if you come up with an answer that is not the same as everyone else's, that's fine. Back your own judgment. That's probably the biggest lesson I would take away from it.
Of course, no one can predict what the financial markets have in store for us in the future, but we can learn lessons from the past.